That's right, this book really did keep me up till midnight. In this video, I'm going to discuss a little bit of what compelled me to stay up so late reading this. So what's so great about this? Why did I stay up so late reading this? You wouldn't think that a book would keep you up that late unless it's really good. And trust me, this is really, really good. So I'll be talking about why I was compelled to stay up so late reading it, also how I discovered it, and some of my thoughts and opinions on it. Now, to give you some idea of what this book is about before I ramble a little about how I discovered it and what I think of it, I'm going to give you just a little brief explanation of the people that it surrounds. Now, the fictional universe contained in this book surrounds the people called the Kindred, which are essentially just amplified or titanic humans. Now, the Kindred are pretty similar to humans until they're 16 years old. When Kindred come of age, they attend the appointment of clans, where they're each given a totem in the form of an animal. They're then sent to one of the 5 clans, subdivided for each major group of animals. The totems then act as a sort of amplifier for each of the Kindred's physical and mental abilities. Now, one of the very unique abilities to the Kindred that sets them apart from the humans at this point is the ability to conjure physical weapons by just imagining them. This is called bracing. Each Kindred can conjure any melee weapon just when they think of it, by drawing on the power of their totem. Now, besides just weapons bracing, there's also armor envelopment. The Kindred can draw on the power of their totem again to encase themselves in armor that's completely unique to them, and often in the shape of their totem. So if you have a totem that's a bird, your armor might have like a beak coming out of the helmet. One thing I did find interesting is that all Kindred share the same birthday, August 5th. Now, I'm guessing this is a significant date to the author for him to just choose August 5th. It doesn't seem like a super significant date, at least not to my knowledge. I guess it does make sense to have the Kindred all share the same birthday, so the appointment of clans happens once every year rather than almost every day. That'd keep him busy. Alright, enough of that rabbit hole. This is how I discovered the universe of the Kindred. So back in January of 2019, almost a year and a half ago now, I had just joined a new homeschool co-op, and I was only taking the morning classes so I would leave after lunch break. So it was during lunch break that I overheard one of the homeschool dads talking to a friend of mine about this book that he had written. Being the fantasy enthusiast that I am, I scooted in closer because I wanted to learn more. It was at this point that I learned a little bit about the Kindred abilities and their clans' respective totems. I was interested, so I took note of the title of the book, Shadow of Okeaous. Although I did take note of the title, it was almost a year later that I finally drew it from the back of my mind. So I asked my parents for the book, and then I received it on Christmas Day of 2019, almost a year after I first found out about it. Now, this isn't a terribly long book. What is it, like 340 pages, something like that? But I devoured it in a couple of weeks. The thrill of reading was that strong. Now, here's where we get to the midnight reading story. So I reached the last few chapters surrounding the Battle of the Stone. The intensity in these chapters was invigorating, and the thrill had me turning page after page.
Avior?
It was shortly after midnight when I closed the book, still energized by the Battle of the Stone.
Be the light.
Now, if the Martin family is watching this, good job. That was amazing. As for my thoughts on this book, it's something that I would recommend to anyone who has a taste of fantasy. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I like more of the fantasy and the Jedi side of Star Wars. So this had a little bit of that thrilling battle feel for me. It's the beginning of a unique fictional universe that's absolutely thrilling to read. And I think that it will be the same for many of you fantasy enthusiasts out there. Now, it is like most beginnings, the first few bits of the books are information. Now, that's not to say that it wasn't interesting. It's about halfway through the book, during the trip to the Haven of Plimpkins, that the author really started to crank up the action. Now, the greatest thing, in my opinion, about this book is its potential for age. Lord of the Rings and Narnia are over 50 years old, Star Wars is over 40 years old, and the Wizarding World is about 30 years old. This book is only 2 years old, and it's amazing. I think this universe could become a major fictional universe in a short amount of time. That's how much I like this book. That's how much potential I think it has. I hope that one day I, the author, and whatever small group of fans there are out there rooting for this book, we'll get to see it rise among the great verses of human imagination. I want to thank W.M. Martin and family and all of the people that worked to bring this to life. You guys did an amazing job. I'm honored and thrilled to be following this universe of your creation. Now, I've already read the sequel to Shadow of Okeaous, Scourge of the Fallen, and I actually thought it was better than its predecessor. If you guys want to see my thoughts on this book, go ahead and comment down below. I'll do it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and always remember, be the light.